Maotai. Maotai or Maotai is a style of Baijiu, a distilled Chinese liquor spirit made in the town of Maotai in China's Guizhou province. Produced by the state-owned Kweichow Moutai Company, the beverage is distilled from fermented sorghum and now comes in several different varieties. Maotai use simple materials, grain and water to produce complex flavor. After 4 years brew buried in urns, it is finally ready to be sold. Maotai originated during the Qing Dynasty 1644–1912, when northern Chinese distillers introduced advanced techniques to local processes to create a distinctive type of Baijiu. Thereafter, Maotai was produced at several local distilleries. During the Chinese Civil War, People's Liberation Army forces camped at Maotai and partook of the local liquor. Following the communist victory in the war, the government consolidated the local distilleries into one state-owned company, Kweichow Moutai. The name is an old romanization of Guizhou Maotai. It became a very popular drink at state functions and one of the country's most popular spirits. History. Maotai became the first Chinese liquor to be produced in large scale, with an annual output of 170 tons. In 2007, more than 6,800 tons of Maotai were sold. Maotai is named after the town of the same name near Zunyi in Renhui, Guizhou province, where liquor distillery has a very long history. The Maotai of today originated during the Qing Dynasty and first won international fame when winning a gold medal at the 1915 Panama Pacific Exposition in San Francisco. During the Chinese Civil War, the current legend goes that the Red Army used Maotai to lift the spirits of their soldiers and disinfect wounds during the Battle of Qishui River. The Red Army victory in this battle is widely recognized as one of the tipping points in their eventual victory over the Kuomintang forces. Ever since then, Maotai has been used at state banquets and celebrations. Maotai was named a national liquor in 1951, 2 years after the founding of People's Republic of China. Maotai also claimed 2 gold medals separately at the Paris International Exposition in 1985 and 1986. Maotai has won 14 international awards and 20 domestic awards since the Chinese Revolution. Maotai has been used on official occasions and feasts with foreign heads of state and distinguished guests visiting China. It is the only alcoholic beverage presented as an official gift by Chinese embassies in foreign countries and regions. It received wide exposure in China and abroad when Zhou Enlai used the liquor to entertain Richard Nixon during the state banquet for the U.S. presidential visit to China in 1972. Zhou told Nixon that Maotai had been famous since it won recognition at the San Francisco World's Fair in 1915, and that during the Long March, Maotai was used by us to cure all kinds of diseases and wounds. Nixon replied, "Let me make a toast with this panacea." When Deng Xiaoping visited the United States in 1979, Henry Kissinger told him, "I think if we drink enough Maotai, we can solve anything." Maotai became both the drink of choice for greeting foreign dignitaries and the bribe of choice to high officials. Counterfeiters moved in to meet the new demand, and other distilleries copied the methods of the state-owned enterprise. Maotai currently sells over 200 tons of Maotai to over 100 countries and regions across the world. In 2018, Maotai saw its output reach about 70,200 tons, with sales revenues reaching 73.6 billion yuan, about $10.5 billion, and net profit 35.2 billion yuan, about $5 billion. Derivatives. Beginning 1960s, China had tried to increase the output of Maotai by expanding the production methodologies of Maotai for other Baijiu brands all over China, but none of the results are the exact duplicate of the original Maotai, and most of the derivatives of Maotai are of a heavy or thick fragrant flavor type, as opposed to the sauce fragrant flavor. These attempts, however, did result in many more famous new brands of Baijiu Chinese liquor based on Maotai, including Anjiu, originally developed by Mr. Zhu Xiaoqin Zhu Xiaochen, who applied the sauce-fragrant flavored Maotai production methodology for heavy/thick fragrant flavored liquor. The resulting product was initially called Guizhou Maotai, meaning Maotai made by Baijiu, until its rename as Guizhou in 1958, when the production plant was reorganized, eventually becoming Guizhou. More than 240 types of traditional Chinese herbal medicine is added in the process, and the liquor is frequently referred by consumers as in Mao and Mao, meaning a derivative of Maotai. Feiyunbianjiu by Yun Bianjiu. Feiyunbianjiu, meaning next to the White Cloud liquor, is produced by Beiyunbian Group in Songzi, Hubei. The main characteristic of Beiyunbianjiu in its combined flavor, which is sauce-fragrant flavor containing heavy/thick fragrant flavor. Beidakangjiu Beidakangjiu. Produced by Heilingjiang, this Chinese liquor uses the exact Maotai methodology, and resulting Beidakang, meaning Northern Great Granary, retained the sauce-fragrant flavor of Maotai, and is thus often nicknamed as Northern Maotai Baijiu Maotai by local consumers. Heavy/thick fragrant flavored brand is also developed. Bichunjiu by Chunjiu. Produced by Bichun Wine. Bichunjiu, meaning blue-green spring liquor, traces its origin back in the 1960s as attempt to expand the production of Maotai. Using the methodology of Maotai production, Bichunjiu is one of the few Maotai derivatives that retained the sauce-fragrant flavor of the original Maotai, and hence is one of the two Chinese liquors nicknamed as Little Maotai Guizhou Maotai, the other being Jingshi Shinjiu Jin Sha Hui Sha Jiu. Biji Dak by Jai Dak. Produced in Biji, this Chinese liquor is heavy/thick fragrant flavored as most of the Maotai variants. Dongju. Dongju was first developed in the late Qing Dynasty in Zunyi region using Maotai methodology, but instead of greater aspergillus and yeast, lesser mucor, rhizopus, and yeast is used instead. In addition, traditional Chinese herbal medicine are added. Guiyang Dak. Guiyang Dak is produced by the municipal plant of Guiyang, which was created in 1950 by combining numerous smaller family-type shops into a single large plant. Guiyang Dak is a series of products consisted several brands, including the heavy/thick fragrant flavored Guiyang Dak and sauce-fragrant flavored Cayenne Chunju, meaning Guizhou spring liquor, which retained the original flavor of Maotai. Guizhou Chun. Guizhou liquor is the first Chinese liquor with low level of alcohol, 35 degrees in comparison to 38 degrees of all other Chinese liquor of its time. Guizhou liquor is heavy/thick fragrant flavored Baijiu. Guizhou Zunjiu. Guizhou Zunjiu literally means Guizhou smoked liquor, and it is a new category of Chinese liquor produced by Guizhou Huali Yucheng Liquor Company. Limited. This is the greatest divergence of Maotai variant in that the methodology was significantly modified, despite being based on the same principles of that of Maotai. The new flavor, smoked fragrant flavor, is created with the birth of Guizhou Zunjiu. Guizhou meaning Guizhou liquid is developed by China Kweichow Moutai Group, the producer of Maotai, as a variant of heavy/thick fragrant flavor. Huangshan Tu, meaning Yellow Mountain Peak liquor, is produced by Hubei Huangshan Liquor Company. The chief scientist responsible for the success of Huangshan was Mr. Zhu Henggang, Nav 1918 Jun 16, 2004, who was one of the chief scientists from 1965 to 1966 on Maotai production expansion research project. Knowledge gained from Maotai production expansion efforts were applied to other liquor makers, and when Mr. Zhu was assigned to Hubei Lotus Pond Liquor Factory, Hubei Uchai Han, the predecessor of Huangshan Liquor Company Limited, to improve the product. Huangshan was the result, and it is a heavy/thick fragrant flavored liquor. Huaijiu is produced by Guizhou, which traces its origin back in 1951, when it was formed with staff from Maotai plant. Guizhou uses identical Maotai production methodology, and it is often referred as second Maotai or Maotai, one of the only two Chinese liquors awarded that honor the other being Yaxijiao Jiu Yazai Jiao Jiu, Jingshi Hui Shi Jiu Jin Sha Hui Sha Jiu. Jing Sha Hui Sha Jin Sha Hui Sha, meaning golden sand returning sand liquor, was first developed in northwestern Guizhou when Mr. Liu Kaiting, a Maotai technician, taught local breweries the production methodology of Maotai, and the resulting product was almost identical to Maotai, and hence has been nicknamed as Little Maotai Zio Maotai. One of Jing Sha Hui Sha liquor is one of the very few Maotai variants that retained the sauce-fragrant flavor of the original Maotai. Yunju Junju is a variant of Maotai produced by the Guizhou Dian Municipal Liquor Plant, a wholly owned subsidiary of Chengdu. Dian Municipal Liquor Plant was formed on April 1, 1950, by combining several smaller breweries into one, and these small breweries produced Chinese liquor very similar to Maotai, and hence before being named as its current name Junju, their products were called Yunmao, meaning Maotai produced in Dian. Junju has over 100 kinds of traditional Chinese herbal medicines added during the production process, and has since developed into many derivative brands. Lai Yangchu. This brand was developed by one Lai Yangchu, one of the two Lai brothers who copied the Maotai production methodology at different plants located at alternative sites. The other brother is Lai Yangfeng, who developed Yaxijiao Jiu, Yazai Jiu, Wu Jiu. Liangchu Jiu are frequently referred as Lai Mao, meaning Lai variant of Maotai. Mr. Lai Yangchu's son, Mr. Lai Shikang is the current CEO of Guizhou Lai Yangchu Spirit Company, Limited Guizhou Lai Yangchu Jiu Ziangongxi, the company that makes Lai Yangchu liquor, which is one of the predecessor of Maotai, and several new brands have been developed. Langju, meaning man's liquor, is one of the few Maotai variant that is able to have the same sauce-fragrant flavor of the original Maotai, and it was one of the 4 alternative sites to experiment relocation of Maotai production. Langju plant is located in Guilin County, around 40 km away from the original Maotai plant, and the original staff were from Maotai. Produced by Langju Group, Langju series include brands such as Honghuang Liquor, Honghua Langju, meaning Red Flower Man, Zinlang Liquor, Meijiao. Developed by Guizhou Meijiao Limited, this derivative of Maotai consists of several brands, each belonging to either sauce-fragrant type or heavy/thick fragrance type. One unique characteristic of Meijiao is that it was the first Chinese liquor to have a new flavor, the tea-fragrant flavor. Pingba Jiu, produced in Pingba County. This variant of Maotai is characterized by using both the greater Cuspergillus and yeast and lesser Mucor, Rhizopus, and yeast, resulting in the mixed fragrance flavor. Kingxi Qingju. Is a series of Chinese liquor derived from Maotai, produced in Genuine County, Guizhou, and it includes brands such as Qingzai Quan, meaning Green Creek Spring, Wu Yang Yi, Wu Lai Xiang, meaning 5 miles fragrance, and Qingzai Doc. Kingxi Qingju is an unusual variant of Maotai in that the series includes 2 types of fragrance. Some brand is sauce fragrance like Maotai itself, while other brand is heavy/thick fragrance like most cheaper variants of Maotai. Zishui Doc is produced in a plant on the bank of Qishui River Chai Shui He, and it is directly across from the plant of Langju on the opposite bank in Guilin County. This derivative of Maotai is heavy/thick fragrant type, but the production process is based on Chinese liquor of sauce fragrance type. Zaijiu is a brand of Maotai produced by Guizhou Ziju Limited Guizhou Zianzi Rengongxi, a wholly owned subsidiary of China Kweichow Moutai Group, the producer of Maotai. The plant is in Zishui County, Guizhou, approximately 50 km away from Maotai plant, but the environment is different enough to affect the ingredients, resulting in a new brand of Chinese liquor. Guizhou Maotai Guizhou Maotai, produced by plants set up by Guangzhou Zhujiang Yunfeng Wine Limited at the Maotai town and has developed various brands. This derivative of Maotai is heavy/thick fragrance type. Yaxijia Jiu Yazai Jiao Jiu, U, Ojiu, U, Ojiu, Yojiu, Yojiu. Production began in 1922 when Lai Yongfeng won the Lai brothers using identical Maotai production method at a new site in Yaxi town Yazai, and was so popular that it was nicknamed Second Maotai or Maotai, one of the only two Chinese liquors awarded that honor the other being Huijiu, currently produced by Guizhou Yaxi Wine Limited. Yuquanjiu Yuquanjiu, meaning Jade Spring Liquor, is produced by Heilongjiang in Harbin, first revealed in 1975 after a year-long development, and the head of design team was Mr. Zhu Hengang, Nav 1918 Jun 16, 2004, who was one of the chief scientists from 1965 to 1966. Knowledge gained from Maotai production expansion efforts were applied to other liquor makers, and when Mr. Zhu was assigned to Yuquan Wine Factory, the predecessor of Yuquan Wine Company Limited, to improve the product, Yuquanjiu was the result, and its main characteristic is in its combined flavor, which heavy/thick fragrant flavor containing sauce fragrant flavor. Zhuchengjiu, produced with Maotai methodology with over 30 types of traditional Chinese herbal medicine added. Zhenjiu, produced by Guizhou Wine Company Limited. This brand was originally established as one of the experimental plants to expand the production of Maotai at alternative sites. Gallery == references ==